yogis, welcome to this beautiful Backbend flow. It's a sequence, it's a yoga sequence, so we are practicing our yoga postures today, but we're going to add in some of those little hacks and drills that I've been teaching you about in the drills-based class and the hacks-based class. But first of all, I'd love you to come down onto your back, either into Shavasana or maybe reclined Baddha Konasana with the soles of your feet together. And just take a moment, whatever position that you're in, you're going to place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Close your eyes and take a moment to check in. Is this the first time that you've done this today? It's the first time you've paid attention to how your body's feeling, what your mind is doing, perhaps what your breath looks like. And then I want you to change the breath. I want you to breathe in and out through the nose. Take a nice inhale, not too deep, not too shallow. And as you exhale, make that exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. As you breathe in, feel the expansion through your belly, through your ribs, all the way up to the chest. And this is a 360 breath. So picture that breath pressing into the floor, behind the belly button, through the ribs, all the way up. Each exhale that little bit longer. The theme of today's class is ahimsa and satya. Kindness, non-violence, and truth. Ask yourself throughout this class, how does this feel for me? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing whatever I'm doing because it feels right for my body? Or am I doing it because I have in this idea in my mind of what it needs to look like, what it should look like, what the perfect pose looks like? Because I promise you now, there isn't a perfect pose. We are all different. Our bodies are different. Our anatomy is different. We have different things going on in our lives. And what one person looks like can be completely different to what you look like. So please connect, tune in, be kind to yourself, and be truthful. Am I doing the right thing? With Backbend, patience is key. And this whole series, I promise, is going to help you. But just take your time. I can't promise it's going to be 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. But over time, it's going to feel much more comfortable and you will see a difference. So right where you are, let's take 2 more of those nourishing breaths together, breathing in. Exhale, slowly let it go. Last time. And then slowly, softly release. Before you open your eyes, bring your hands over your heart space. Start to rub your palms together. Create heat between the palms. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bring that heat onto your heart. Set this intention of kindness and truthfulness. And then gently blink the eyes open, maybe take a little smile, maybe stretch your arms over the head if that feels good. And then we're going to wake up the body. So we're going to do this little sensory simulation. Let's rub one leg all the way down on the back, on the hips, and then take it to the other side. Little massage before we start. Wake up the whole body. And then take it up, take it on the shoulders. Sorry if it's going into my microphone. Take it along the arms. And then gently lean back. Little challenge. How can you touch the whole of your back while lying on your back? Take it over to the side. And then come back down onto your back. And one thing I should have mentioned. You need at least 1 block for this class. 2 blocks preferably, and you're going to grab one of those blocks, so pause the video if you need to. You're going to bring the block underneath your sacrum, either on the lowest setting or the second setting. So place it down just on that flat bony part at the bottom of your spine. And you want to feel at ease here, okay? If you feel like you're like this and it's too much effort, then take it down one notch. And then what I want you to do is just going to stretch out the front line of the body. So we're going to take let's start with the other foot. So you can see, take hold of your left foot and then come onto the top of the toes. If this is the first time you've ever done this stretch, it can be really, really intense. So your hand can help you and just give yourself a little bit, take some of the weight off a little bit. And just notice where you're feeling this stretch. The closer you bring it into your body, the more intense you're going to feel it. So maybe you're just feeling it on the foot, maybe you're feeling it along the quadricep, maybe perhaps even in the hip. Use your breath to soften. So we want to keep reminding ourselves during this class that we're safe, reminding our brain that we're safe. So try and use that slightly extended exhale. If you need to feel a little bit more energy, so some of the sequences might need some energy, and making the equal length of breath is going to help you. Making the breath equal is going to help you. So take one more breath just like this. And then slowly release, and let's take it to the other side. So on top of the right foot, bring it closer in. Notice if there's any asymmetry, because as I always say, we do tend to be asymmetrical as humans, and that's okay. But knowing these things can help us in our practice, maybe to pay a little bit more attention onto one side. So I think that nice long breath, breathing in and out through the nose. And then slowly, mindfully release. Just remove the block and place it to the side. So our feet stay hands distance from the body. We're going to lift up into bridge piece by piece. So slowly tuck the tailbone, lift up. Imagine there's a weight on top of you, or I'm pushing down on top of your belly. And notice how that helps your glutes, your core, everything connect as one. Draw a line, imaginary line from your shoulders all the way up through your knees. Reach your knees away. Reach your arms over your head, pull back on your right fingers, just stretching through the wrist, through the forearm. Your pose can be really intense through the wrist, so we need to be kind to ourselves, bring it back to ahimsa, to take some time to work on it. And if it feels too much, then we stop, because our wrists are precious. Let's take the other side now, pull back on the left fingers, breathe into the left wrist, forearm. If you know that you have weak wrists, I have a short class on the app as well called Happy Wrists, which will be really good for you. So check it out if you need to. One more breath just like this. Again, picture that imaginary weight pushing down. You can even use your hands to push down. And then keeping this shape with the lower body, make a fist, make a star as fast as you can. It feels okay at first, and then it starts to burn. Let's bring some strength into our wrists, into our forearms for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, before we come down, let's grab the block again and place the block underneath our sacrum on the lowest setting. Please don't go into the second setting, go on the lowest setting. You're then going to hug your right knee in towards you. If you feel a pinching sensation, if it comes straight in, try bringing it slightly towards the right shoulder and see how that feels. Now I want you to keep this thigh as close to your body as you can and extend your left foot away from you. Squeeze that glute and bring the heel down towards the floor, but at the same time feel like someone's pulling your toes away from you. If it's really easy to bring your foot down, I suspect your thigh is lifting away from your chest. So bring it closer and then reach the toe away and push it down. 3, 2, 1. We're going to switch it out. Bring the left knee in a little bit over to the side if that feels better. Squeeze the glute on that right side. Reach the right heel down towards the floor. Reach the toes away. Stay with your breath. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Take the block away again. And just like we did before, we're going to bring the right thigh as close towards our body as possible. Don't let it lift away. It's hard. You're not going to be able to lift up into your full shape like you usually would. So keep this pulling in, and then brain in that right glute. Give it a poke if you need to. You're going to lift up as high as you can with this thigh suction towards your chest. Lower. 9, 8, notice if your hips are dipping. So if this right hip collapsing, can you keep your hips in the same line? 5, 4, brain in that glute, 3, 2, and 1. Hold at the top, 3, 2, and 1. Switch it out, bring the left knee in towards you, and lift and lower. You've got this. Really ground down through that right foot. You can try pushing it away from you or pulling it towards you. It's not going to move, it's just an energetic feeling. 3, 2, hold it there, for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release. You're going to come onto your belly. So let's try and do this without momentum. Shuffle over so you're slightly off your mat. Reach your arms over your head. Can you tip your body all the way onto your belly without using too much momentum or using your hands? I'm just going to take my microphone off so I am not speaking directly into it. So we're going to do some cobra lifts now. Get the upper body firing up. That's the word I'm going for. You're going to reach your toes away from you. Lightly press your pelvis into the floor. That's going to get your glutes fired. Bring your hands next to your shoulders. Inhale, lift up using the strength of your back body. You're not pushing with your arms. You're gonna know if you're pushing with your arms in a minute because you're reaching back and then you're slowly coming down, hands come down. So inhale, lift you up. Reach back, reach through the crown of the head, push the head back in space. Bring your brain into this thoracic area. Lift up, reach back, hands come back. And again, last one, you're going to hold it at the top, reach the arms back, bring your brain into that thoracic area, push back in space, perhaps lift your eyes to the ceiling, see if you can get any more extension. That little hack that we learned for 3, breathe for 2, and 1. Take a moment to breathe, and we're going to come into a more restorative stretch. You're going to bring your right knee, it's called a half frog. You're going to bring your right knee up, almost in line, or in line with your hip as much as you can, if that makes sense. You're going to bring your heel around in line with your knee. Your left leg stays where it is. Your head can reach down onto a little makeshift pillow using your hands. And you're going to gently push through that knee, pushing this hip down towards the earth. Now stay here for a few breaths, but if you want to play with sensations a little bit, notice what happens if you straighten this leg. How does that change the stretch? Does that feel better for your body? For me, this one feels better. So we need to kind of quit this idea that one stretch is more advanced than the other and that makes it better, because it might be that that stretch just isn't better for our bodies. So this is when we tune in and we are truthful with ourselves. Last couple of breaths here. And then let's slowly switch it out and take the other side. So the knee roughly in line with the hip. That's the word I was searching for before. Gently push it down in towards the earth, bringing that left hip down. And then that soft, nice, long exhale. Perhaps you extend that leg, perhaps you don't. You do you. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring yourself back, reach your arms over your head, and you're going to roll back onto your back. So you can bring yourself to the corner of the mat just like we did before, and then you're going to roll. Okay. So bring your hands behind your thighs, hug your knees in, little rocks and rolls, little massage to the spine. And then you're going to come all the way up and you're going to bring it into child's pose.
Now, we did this drill in the shoulders class. Those who are like, oh yes, I can relax in child's pose. Just wait one moment, we will relax in a moment. So we did this drill in the shoulders class and we had that resistance band around the arm. If that felt really good for you, you can definitely have that in again now. We're going to bring our hands into prayer and we're going to do that little clap. So nice rounding of the back. The closer your elbows are, the easier it is. The further away they are, the harder it is. You're going to open and close. 9. Stay with your breath. Nice rounded back. Notice if your elbows are creeping away. Little gently hugging them in as the arms open and close. 4, 3, 2, hold the last one. 5, 4, 3, 2. And now we melt into child's pose. Your arms can reach long, your arms can be alongside you. Just take a moment to soften, to breathe. And when you're ready, we're all going to meet in downward facing dog. So hips lift, take it out and pedal it out even. Little wiggles of the hips. Just notice, how's my body feeling today? And that's going to kind of help to inform you where you might need to make any modifications to your practice. And even it might help to inform you that actually wheel might be a little bit harder for you today, and that's okay. We need to remember that our body changes from day to day. Now let's do some spinal waves. Are you ready? Inhale, puff up through the body. So you're rounding through the back as you shift forward into plank. And then when you get to plank, bend into the knees. Inhale, stick your bum out as you take it into downward facing dog and find a little bit of extension. So exhale, rounding through the back, puffing into plank. Inhale, tailbone lifts, little bit of extension, downward facing dog. Keep moving, keep breathing. You can move faster than me. You can move slower than me. Let's do one more time. And then find your downward facing dog. And as soon as you get there, pad your feet piece by piece all the way to the front of the mat, coming onto fingertips if you need to. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Imagine there's a weight on your back. Hold it here for a moment. Feel your body alive. Exhale and fold. And then inhale, let's roll all the way up piece by piece. Lower back stacks. Thoracic spine starts to stack until your head comes up last. Okay, we're going to do some playing around with sun salutations now. Really focus on, when we come down in particular, that upper back and opening through the shoulders and the glutes being on to help you extend through the hip. Okay, inhale, reach the arms forwards and up, lift the shoulders. Exhale, hinge forward and fold, that imaginary weight on your back, moving slowly, moving mindfully. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, tuck the chin in. Exhale, plant the hands, step back plank pose, drop the knees, lower down, keep the shoulders lifted, that imaginary weight's back on your back. Coming all the way to your belly, we're going to do skydiver pose. If you just want to do the upper body, you can, or you can do the lower body as well. You're going to inhale, lift up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, push the head back in space, and hold. Glutes are fired, lengthen from tailbone up through crown of the head. For 3, for 2, and 1. Come down, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Let's take a moment of stillness here, a moment to check in with our bodies, to check in with our breath, to come back to that intention, ahimsa, satya, kindness, truthfulness. In your downward facing dog, notice if you're starting to kind of hang out. Can you spread your fingers, push your hands into the mat, dial the hands out, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Lift your tailbone up to the sky like there's a piece of string attached to it, showing the backs of your thighs towards the back of the room. Now exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Take a little hop or a step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up, fingertips touch. Exhale, hands to heart. And again, inhale, lift the arms forwards and up. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, plank pose. Drop the knees if you wish to. Imagine you have that weight on your back. How slowly, how mindfully can you lower? Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Reach the head away from the toes. Push your head back in space and then lift your eyes and see if that helps with extension. Your chin doesn't lift. Exhale, navel to spine lifts you up. You're going to come down onto your knees. And perhaps you need a block for this pose. You should recognize it from the hips drills class. So you're going to extend your left leg back behind you. You can either tuck your toes and sit your hip onto your heel, or if you prefer, remember you can bring that block to sit on that block instead. It just gives you a little bit more height. If you find this pose really easy, I suspect you're lifting your hips up. You want to get your hips as low as possible. That's going to make it even harder. So, brain in that left glute. Can you lift that leg off the floor, bend it to the side? 10, 9. How square can you get the hips when that leg extends back behind you? Halfway there, yogis. Keep the upper back a little bit rounded. Your hands are there for support, for balance. Last 2 and 1. Leg stays, bring the leg back behind you and then bend the leg. And then how mindfully can you do this movement? i.e., you're not using momentum to throw that leg up. You're lifting and lowering. If your leg isn't lifting, the intention is enough. Over time, it is going to lift. Or you come up with the hips up and you try it this way, which is going to make it easier. You can even do this drill in tabletop pose. Let's do another 5. We're aiming to do about 10. If you've done 10, you can stop. 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Let's switch sides straight away. Right leg extends out behind you. Sit as low as you can. Lift the leg. Knee bends to the side. When that leg comes back, how much can you square the hips? You've got this, yogi. Stay with your breath. Upper back nice and rounded. 3, 2, 1. Knee comes down, leg bends, lift and lower with as much control as you can. Brain in that glute, really feeling that glute nice and strong. Feeling that hip extension. 3, 2, and 1. Take a moment back in child's pose. If you prefer a puppy pose, you absolutely can come there. But wherever you are, I just want you to turn off for a moment. Turn the body off, as in you don't need to engage anything. It's your moment to just find a little bit of restoration. Remember, we have this idea of Shatira Sukha, effort and ease. This is your moment of ease. And in that moment of ease, can you re-find your breath? Can you slow it down? And then when you're ready, we're going to meet in downward facing dog. Push through the hands, shoulders lift. Imagine my hands on that thoracic spine and just gently push back into it. It's a feeling of drawing your ribs in and just feeling really strong and stable in that shoulder girdle. Then when you're ready, bend your knees, take a little hop or a step to the front of the mat. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, let's go. One more time, playing with the sun salutation. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Knees can be down, knees can be lifted. Imaginary weight on the back. Keep the shoulders lifted, come down in one piece. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Dial the hands out. Breathe the heart forward, perhaps lift the eyes. Exhale, downward facing dog. In your down dog, remember those little down dog push-ups from the shoulder class? Push the ground away, bend the knees as much as you need. Elbows wing out to the side. We're going to do about 10. Remember, if this is yours, tiny little movement, that is okay. Maybe it's even smaller than that. This is a super hard movement, and I prefer you not to go too low and then using your whole body to come up. So really try and isolate the shoulders, work on the shoulders. Another 3, 2, push, 1. Okay, step your right foot forward to the front of the mat. Lift yourself all the way up. Turn yourself to face the left side of the mat. Coming into goddess pose, turn your toes to face out. Don't step your feet too far away, okay? It's about strides distance away. Come back to your breath. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. Notice if the knees want to sink inwards. Use your hands. Push, resist your knees into your hands into your knees. And then, keeping the legs exactly where they are, bring your hands onto your thoracic spine. And start to do some little movements just from this thoracic spine. And just get a little bit of mobility into this area. Helps to wake up the mechanoreceptors, side to side. And then you're going to go front to back. So hands can go on the front and back, and you're just trying to move from this area. This isn't a cat-cow. This is very much a movement from the thoracic spine. It's difficult if you've never done this before. And then, take a break if you need it. Can you do little circles? So side, round forward, and back. 3, 2, my legs are going. And then you're going to change direction. Maybe this feels amazing. You're like, oh, I need this movement. When you've done those 3, straighten the legs. If you want, turn the toes in and take a kind of ragdoll here. Another moment to catch your breath. Maybe some little sways from side to side. And then when you're ready, you're going to frame your front foot. You're going to step back into plank. Let's take one more vinyasa. Drop the knees if you need to. Come all the way down. Inhale, lift you up. Remember that little hack. Does the eye lift help you find a little bit more extension even? Exhale, downward facing dog. Option for child's pose. Wherever you are, find a little bit of stillness. Ask yourself, do I need to find more ease? Do I need to find more effort? And see, wherever you are in down dog or child's pose, can you slow the breath? Can you perhaps make that exhale a little bit longer than the inhale? Can you just slow everything down? So those in child's pose, come to meet us in downward facing dog now. Bend your knees, gaze forward, take a little hop or a step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way into your chair. Bend your elbows if you like. Let's play around with chair pose a little bit. Inhale, find a little bit of a back bend. Exhale and fully round. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, breathe the heart open. Exhale and round. Last time, inhale, lift up, breathe up. And exhale, round. And then find yourself all the way back down to the floor. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, either step straight to downward facing dog, or if vinyasas are feeling amazing today, then take your vinyasa, pull the heart through, dial the hands out, shine the eyes of the elbow forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up to the side straight away. Bend the knee, reach your knee upwards, opening through the hip, closing those shoulders. Reach the knee even further up towards the sky, like there's a piece of string on it pulling you up. And then exhale, step your foot forward, slowly, mindfully, coming up into a 90-90-ish low lunge. And we're going to do those nerve glides now that you've done in the hip class. So, hands behind, no, we're not hands behind head, sorry. Hands on leg or on blocks by your side. This can be a nice, bring the blocks by your feet. Remember you're doing that rounding, so tuck the tail, round through the thoracic spine, tuck your chin really into your chest, and then little shift forward and look up. Take it back. 4, 3. It's just your head that's moving at the end. Keep that rounded position. 2 and 1. And then you're going to do the same again. But you're going to keep your chin tucked to your chest. Everything rounded. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Awesome. Place the blocks to the side. I'm going to activate that lunge. You can step your foot a little bit forward if you want to make it a little bit longer. Imagine I'm in front of you and I'm trying to pull this leg away from you as hard as possible. So you're resisting against that pulling. You're squeezing this left glute, but imagine you're dragging your left knee forward and your glute's going to turn on. At the same time, someone's pulling you by the ears and lifting you up towards the ceiling. So you're getting all these opposing motions, and notice what your body does with those opposing motions. So super, super active. If you want to inch it a little bit forward, holding here for a moment more, and then turn this leg in. So your left foot goes over to the right. So you're opening through the hip, but keep that activation. You can lift your arms if you want to, but you don't need to. Hold here. 3, 2, and 1. Take that foot back, so we're in a regular low lunge. Bring your right hand onto your belly. Lift your arm, lift your shoulder. That dragging forward of the knee, keep it going so your left glute is fired. And then exhale, take a side bend over to the right. This is where we do our little lung pops. So taking the biggest breath, you can actually use your hand on your rib. Biggest breath in, feel the ribs expand. And then slow, soft breath out. 2 more times, big, big breath in. And then slow breath out. And again, big, big breath in. And then slow breath out. Come all the way up. Perhaps come a little bit deeper in your low lunge if you want to. Hands on hips, just good feedback. Glutes stay squeezed. You're going to shift forward and then you're going to open the hip. The whole time your glute is active. 3, 4, 5. We're going to do 7. Keep the glutes on. That right hip is stabilizing as well. When you've done that 7th, just take a moment. And then you can shift up. If you want to do this next to a wall, you absolutely can. We've done this in the drills class. You can bring your knee onto a pillow or a block to kind of soften it a little bit. I should have said all of these low lunges, you could always bring something underneath the back knee if it's sensitive. If you want to just do this on your mat, not against a wall, you can as well. We're going to do a quadricep stretch. So pull your heel in towards you, tuck your tailbone a little bit, and hopefully you can feel this, perhaps through your quadricep, perhaps a little bit through your hip flexors as well. Then what you can do is push your foot into your hand, push your hand into your foot so you've got a little bit of resistance. 3, 2, 1, PNF stretch. And then perhaps see if you can sink just a tiny bit more. Let's do it again. Resist. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perhaps you can sink a little bit more and then resist. Even if you can't sink, it might just make it feel a little bit easier for you. 3, 2, 1, and then slowly, mindfully release. So from here, you're going to bring this leg over again like we did when we did the open lunge, but this time you're going to sit all the way down. So our right leg is straight, left leg bent, left foot in towards the thigh. We're going to do those rotations now. Are you ready? We're going to rotate using our rotation muscles towards the right. Lift through the crown of your head. Use your eyes to help you, gazing over towards the right. When you get to full rotation, lift your right arm, shoulder lifts. Take it back, take it over the other way. Left arm lifts. We're doing 3 of these. Rotate and lift. My hand isn't helping me at all. It's my body that's getting me in this position. Lift and lift. Okay, so now we're going to do a bit of active pigeon drills. So we're going to actually end up facing the back of the mat. Our left leg is forward. Okay, checking I haven't missed anything. No, I haven't. Great. So coming into a pigeon shape, don't go all the way down. Sometimes we do. We're like, yes, we're here. Sorry, unfortunately, this is going to be a little bit more active. So you're going to try and bring your hands onto your hips. If you need hands on blocks or fingertips down, that's absolutely okay. Over time, it's going to come easier. Either you simply hold here like you are trying to crush the ground underneath you, or you can do some shift forward and back. Again, your fingers might be helpful, but try and use the strength of your body to bring you into this position. We're going to do another 2. Trying to keep the hips facing forward. It's hard. Last 1. Bring it up. Shift over. Bring the right foot forward. Try not to use your hands. Lift 1, 2, 3. Can you do that again? Bring the foot back. Bring yourself back to active pigeon. We're going to do that again. Shift over. Bring the leg forward. Lift 1, 2, 3. Just kind of making that hip flexor super juicy. Bring yourself back. Last one, I promise. Hip comes down, leg comes over. 1, 2, 3. I'm smiling, otherwise I'm going to be crying. Bring it back, bring the hands down. Take it through a vinyasa if you want to, or come straight to child's pose. And breathe, and maybe throw a block at the screen if you're feeling angry with me for those pigeon drills, because I know they're hard. But you did great. Okay, take a moment in your child's pose. If you want to be in down dog, you absolutely can. And we're going to come to the other side in a minute. But now is your time to reconnect to the breath, reconnect to that intention, kindness, truthfulness. And I know lots of you might be thinking that Himsa is non-violence, but I just love to flip it on its head and just call it kindness. Because it is kindness to us, to others, to the planet, to everything around us. Okay, are we ready? Hands come down, toes tuck, hips lift. Let's meet downward facing dog. Straight to the other side, left leg lifts, left knee bends. Reach that knee up towards the ceiling like there's a piece of string attached to it, or I'm grabbing hold of it and pulling it away from you. And then step your foot forward to the front of the mat. That 90-90 low lunge. Grab your blocks, frame your front foot. You're going to find that rounding. So round through the lower back, the upper back, tuck the chin in. Little shift forward, lift the neck. Remember, for these nerve glides, you don't want an extreme sensation. There might be a little pulling sensation, but be mindful. Last 2. Last 1. And then keep that tucked position and shift. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place the blocks to the side. Come up. A little bit longer if you want to, or you can stay in that 90-90 position. Again, just like before, I am grabbing your leg and pulling it away from you as strongly as I can, so you're resisting. That left foot's pulling back in space. The right knee is pulling forward. At the same time, you are lifting through the upper body. Your arms can be up if you wish them to be. But just feel that active strength. Resist against my imaginary pull. 10, 9, grow through the crown of your head. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Listen carefully. Right toes over towards the left. So you've got that open hip position. And stay with this active lunge. 10, 9, 8. My body's shaking. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So much effort. So just like before, left hand to belly or to ribs, if that kind of reminder, it's really nice feedback that you growing your ribs into your hands. Lift your right arm up, shoulder lift. Exhale, take that side bend, rib pop, lung pop even. Breathe, big, big, big into your body. Softly release. Keep that strong low lunge, breathing in. Softly release. And again, breathing in. And then softly release. My legs are shaking. I don't know about anyone else's. So you're coming up. You can be deeper, you can be shallower in your lunge. Be mindful that this glute stays active throughout this drill. Hands on hips so you've got that feedback. Open and close. I don't know about you, but for this one, I really feel it on my left side glute as well because it's really acting to stabilize and avoid that knee collapsing in. 5, 6, and 7. Amazing. Bring the toes in, sit back down, and we're going to take our Janu Shasana on the other side. So left leg is straight, right leg is bent, foot in towards thigh. Turn your torso, use those rotational muscles, lift your left shoulder towards your ears. Come back, turn and lift. Turn and lift. Stay with your breath. Lift. Last one. Sorry if we did an extra one. And then take it back. Take your body around back towards the front of the mat, back to that active pigeon. Pushing strongly into the mat like you're trying to break the floor beneath you. Fingers can be on blocks, can be on the floor as you shift forward and lift up. Try and get the minimum amount of weight into your hands as possible and let your legs and your hips and your core do the work. Another 2. Another 1. Take it down. Bring the left leg forward. 3, 2, 1. Not going to lie, I'm regretting those leg lifts. Try not to use your hands like I just did. I completely forgot then. Try and use your legs. Ready? 3. Lift high through the crown of the head. 1. Take it back. Find your active pigeon. Last time. Forward. 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knees in front of you. Bring your hands back. Give them a little sway from side to side. Come back to your breath. Okay. Right. I'm going to do a little bit on shoulder flexion now. Choose a little restorative pose if you just need a minute to catch your breath and to recover. What I want to do is I want to do a test with dolphin, and this can be a really good chance for you to actually film yourself. And I say that because I filmed myself doing this the other day. Granted, it was at the beginning of a practice. I did a dolphin. I did the air hunger drill straight afterwards. I did another dolphin straight away. And the difference in my shoulder flexion was incredible. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but these little hacks, these test retests where we can see the difference in our bodies, it's really empowering because we're like, oh my gosh, that really helps with shoulder flexion. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that for my wheel or whatever pose you're doing. Maybe you're working towards dancer or king pigeon. So this just helps us understand our body. And if you know that something like air hunger doesn't work for you, but something else does, then try that one instead, like the divergence one. So hopefully you're recovered enough now. We're going to come into dolphin. If you can, have your hands parallel. If you really don't want to do that, you can have them together, but try and have them parallel. You're going to bring your knees down. We're going to come into a really nice way of coming into dolphin, so we get into it in the best way possible. You're going to let your head go. You're going to push up between your shoulder blades, protract them, puff up in the upper back, and then you're going to pike your hips up, and you're going to find your dolphin. You can bend your knees as much as you need to, and just take a moment to feel it out in your body. How does this feel? We're only holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it down, take it straight up. Okay, we're going to try air hunger. As I said, if this doesn't work for you, you know it doesn't work for you, you can try another one of those little hacks that perhaps does. Ready? So you breathe in through the nose, you breathe fully out through the nose, you hold it, and while you're holding your breath, you're going to do those little squats, as many squats as you can do. And then you want a couple of breaths to recover, no more. If you've taken it a little bit too far, just note that for next time. And then we're going to try again. So breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose, holding and doing those squats. So breathe in, breathe out, hold. Catch your breath. Bring it down. Just like we went into it before. Let your head go. Puff up between the shoulders. Pike the hips up. How does that feel in your body compared to when we did it before? Push. Lengthen the sit bones away from you. Hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees down, roll the shoulders. Take a little breath. So let's do a couple more shoulder drills before we get towards our wheel pose. We're nearly there, I promise. So one of the other, actually we're going to do one more little hack. We're going to do humming bee breath. We can catch our breath while we do it, and then we're going to do these ones. So actually, before we do it, let's just do a little test. Bring your hand in front of you. We're not going to do 10, don't worry. Just notice how this feels, how hard it feels. Try and take a snapshot of that in your mind. And we're going to do 5 humming bee breaths. Are you ready? Breathe in through the nose, and as you exhale, you hum it out through your mouth. Ready? Don't worry if you're not in line with me. My humming's going so weird today. Okay, let's go again. If you're finishing up, that's completely fine. So that little tuck position, hold the block between your hands, reach the arms forward and back. So for me, that's really helped. Even if you can't see it, it feels so much better in my body. It's so clever. These little brain hacks that help us. Okay, we're doing another 5. I hope you're doing this with me. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Place the blocks to the side. Take it over. Come into downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, step your foot forward, lift straight up, high lunge. Really active. Imagine you are ripping the mat apart with your feet. And then switch it out, so you're ripping the mat together. Just notice the difference in sensation. And we're actually going to come up into dancer. First of all, we're going to do an active dancer. Guys, it is so hard. I know it's hard. So come up to stand, bend through the left knee. You can bring the hands together if you want to. You're going to reach your hands back in space. You're going to reach your left foot towards you, and you're going to try and grab hold of that foot with the hands. I know, it's so hard. And then slowly release. Have a little wiggle, have a little dance. I'm getting so sweaty. I hope you're enjoying this, guys. One more time. Let's try this time holding onto the foot, okay? So you're going to lift, push back. Your hand can always stay on this thigh. Remember, you can have a little bend in that leg as well. Maybe you reach your arm towards the sky. Maybe you slightly tip forward. Ooh. See, guys, I lose my balance too. All the time. Okay, hand pushes into foot, foot pushes into hand. 4, 3, 4, 2, and 1. Take it back, high lunge. Breathe in, breathe out. Optional vinyasa. Inhale into your back bend, lift the gaze. Exhale, navel to spine. Left leg lifts, inhale. Left foot steps forward, straight into that active high lunge. Pull the mat apart with your feet, rip it apart with your feet. And then rip it towards each other. And then come up to stand. Hands come towards each other. Bend the elbows. Active dancer. Can you touch your foot to your hands? If anyone can, please send me a photo. And then slowly release. Take hold of the right foot with the right hand. Your left hand can be used for balance if you want it to. Push the foot into the hand. Reach the arm in front of you. Lift through the thoracic spine. Oh God, I am losing my balance today. I'm feeling tired. Hold it here. 5, 4, 3, reach through the crown of the head. 2, let go, high lunge. Inhale, exhale, hand comes down. Bring the knees down, bring the bum hand down. And let's take a moment before wheel, not only to catch our breath, but to do a median nerve glide. Hand on that imaginary, holding that imaginary platter. Extend the arm, ear goes the same way. Bring it back, fingers and ear go the other way. Bring it in. Focus, guys, on the breath, on slowing it down. One more time and then we'll switch sides. I totally did too then, sorry. Got lost in the moment. Hold your platter. You ready? Take it over, fingers and ear other way. Stay with your breath. So we're going to do some floor taps or wall taps, you're going to choose, and then we're going to practice our wheel pose. Okay, one more time. Actually, one more time this time. Okay, so remember in this shoulder drills class, we did 3 different taps. So you've got the one where you're on your back and you're tapping over on the floor behind you. You've got the camel taps where you're tapping back onto the wall, and you've got the low lunge taps where you're tapping back onto the wall. I'm going to do the ones on my back with the blocks underneath. Remember, you can be on 1 block, on 2 blocks you choose. If you want to do the wall ones, that's okay. Take your mat over to the wall, and remember, on all of these, you're finding that lift through the shoulders. The shoulder blades are gliding up, and you're trying to find as much extension through, so as length through the spine, and really focusing on that thoracic area. Okay, so if you're with me, you're bringing the blocks just below the shoulder blades. Your knees are nice and bent. Reach up, tap back. We're going to do 10. If you're in the low lunge ones, do 5 on one side, do 5 on the other side. Halfway there. Last 2. Last 1. Okay, yogis. Before we do our wheel, remember that little idea of looking into the distance, helping with extension, looking into a finger close between the eyebrows, helping with flexion. So if you know you need more, if you know one helps more of the other with wheel, do that one now. Or if you struggle more with shoulder flexion, then do this one. If you struggle more with hip extension, then go over to the window and look as far away as you can. So you choose one. I'm going to choose the one close to me, and we're going to hold it for about 20 seconds. So gazing out of the window as far as you can away, keeping your gaze in that far off position, or just like me, you're going to bring the finger close to the face and you're going to gaze that finger for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down onto your back. Remember all the modifications I've showed you with wheel? So you've got the blocks under the hands by the wall, so you're safe. Blocks under the feet by the wall, so you're safe. You can lift up onto a chair as long as it's secure, it's not going to go away from you. If you don't want to do wheel at all, you can come up into a bridge pose. You can come into a restorative bridge and place a block underneath your back. You don't have to practice wheel if you're like, I'm done with backbend. So you choose the option you want to go with. Remember the little hacks that can work. Flexion, look down. Extension, look back. Take a big breath and lift up. When you're ready, your slowly going to come down, bring your feet flat, and bring your knees side to side. Just notice, where was I feeling stuff? What was I feeling? If you were feeling any tension through the wrists, perhaps you try the blocks against the wall, or you can try those wrist nerve glides I showed you. Pause the video and try those that I showed you in the shoulder section. If you're like, oh, that felt so open and free, mine felt really open and free, and I'm not just saying that. This series has really helped me in my back bends as well. I really struggle with it. I had with my daughter's birth, I had a trauma, and since then I've really struggled with back bends, and it's definitely helping. So if you want to play, what we can do now is play with lifting one leg if you want to. So what I like to do for this is wiggle one foot into the center. You can either lift up with with one foot down, that's hard, or you can wiggle that foot over to the center while you're up, and then bend your knee into your chest and perhaps extend that leg. So let's give it a go if you want to. Remember, Satya, truthfulness, check in with how it feels for you. Is this the right thing for you to do? When you're ready, you're going to lift up. Perhaps wiggle that foot into center, foot stays down, knee comes towards you. You can try shifting as well. If you want to extend the leg, you can. It's really hard to talk in this position. And then you're going to switch. So your left foot comes down, your right knee comes into chest. And then when you're ready, tuck the chin, come all the way down, take a little shift from side to side. Now, if you want to practice it for a third time, you absolutely can. It can be nice to be facing a wall. I think I've showed you this in the first class, where you bring your foot onto the wall, and that can just help get you a little bit more shoulder flexion. If, like me, you were like, oh, I don't want to do another one, then bring a block underneath your sacrum, either first level or second level like this one, and you can rest here. It should feel quite restorative. You can extend the legs if this feels good for you, but I don't want there to be effort. I just want you to take a moment to calm. So if you're lifting up into a third wheel, please go for it now. Remember that theme of Satya, of truthfulness. Do you need this? Are you pushing yourself too hard? Are you pushing yourself enough? There's that fine balance, isn't there? And then everyone slowly come down onto the mat from wherever you are. Take a moment to rock the knees from side to side. And then you're going to bring your hands behind your thighs. You're going to take some lovely rock and rolls, a little massage through the spine. And then you're going to come into a super bent knee Paschimottanasana. So bend your knees and simply lie your chest over your thighs, taking out all effort, and bring your brain onto your lower back. Can you breathe into that area? The benefit of filming yourself doing these classes is that you can go back and look at your wheel. You can even send it to me. I'm so happy to look at things and give you feedback and tips on what might help. But you might be able to see it yourself. You might be able to see, oh, my hips, I don't have that extension. That's what I need to work on. Okay, I'm going to do a bit more of the hip drills class because my shoulders are open, or maybe vice versa. I'm giving you this information to empower yourself in your practice. What do you need more of? And again, don't overdo it. Be mindful. And then slowly bring yourself all the way up. Right leg stays straight, bend the left knee. Bring the right arm alongside the body, roll the left shoulder open, and then reach it over towards the right toes. Doesn't need to touch, that's not the point. Keep the body lovely and open. And then if you want to play around with movement, you can start to close and open if that feels good, or maybe you need stillness. Can you take those nice big breaths? 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up, bend your right knee, step it over your left thigh. This is to intent straighten that left leg in front of you. Hug it in with your left hand, right fingers come behind you. Lift up through the crown of the head and rotate around to the right. Maybe use your eyes to help you in this rotation. At the same time you are breathing, release into this hip. And then exhale, slowly release. Come all the way up. And we're simply going to switch it out. Should we do the little spin, Michael Jackson spin? You ready? So your right foot is over. If your leg is straight, this isn't going to work. You're just going to switch sides. You're going to rotate your body all the way around to the left until you come to sit down. And we're in that twist on the other side. We will do the Janu Shirshasana side stretch, don't worry. Hug your left leg in with your right arm. Right fingers behind you. Find that lovely length through the spine. And exhale, you twist. So it's a little standoff with the breath. Each inhale draws you taller, each exhale perhaps twisting that tiny bit more. Last big breath here. And then exhale, take a little counter twist. And then straighten that left leg, right foot goes in towards the thigh. Left arm comes down, right arm comes over. Open through the body, reach a little bit longer, and then maybe that little movement again, close and open, exploring the sensations within your body. Last one. Hold it here for a moment more. And then inhale, brings you all the way up. You're going to face whichever end of the mat that you like. You're going to bring your feet out and they are going to be ready for Shavasana. So bring your heels nice and wide. Let's round. You can hold onto your legs if you want to. If you're like, nope, Hannah, I'm done. I don't need any more strength. And then you're going to peel your body down, vertebrae by vertebrae. How slow can you go until finally you reach the mats? Bring the arms alongside the body. Let the fingers curl in. Take a big breath in through your nose. And a big sigh out through your mouth. Before you let go, just check in. How are you feeling? Maybe your lower back is feeling a little bit sticky. Maybe perhaps you might have pushed yourself a little bit too far. Perhaps it's going to be better for you to bring your feet flat against the mat, nice and wide, and then let the knees come in. Perhaps you want to come to legs up the wall. Take a moment, last chance, Satya, be truthful with yourself. What do I need? And then one more breath, breathe in. And as you exhale, let go. Let go of everything. Let go of the breath. Let go of any remaining tension, any remaining engagement in the body. Simply be its witness. Different parts of your body move as you breathe. Each breath looks different. Be the witness of your mind. Watch those thoughts come in and then gently let them go. Be kind to yourself. Remember, you are human. We all have wandering minds. Just catch that wandering mind. Gently let the thoughts go and come back to this moment right here, right now. And I want to end this class with a reading by Pema Chodron, who perhaps you know by now is one of my favorites. And she says, "Life is glorious, but life is also wretched. It is both. Appreciating the gloriousness inspires us, encourages us, cheers us up, gives us a bigger perspective, energizes us. We feel connected. But if that's all happening, we get arrogant and start to look down on others. And there's a sense of making ourselves a big deal and being really serious about it, wanting it to be like that forever. The gloriousness becomes tinged by craving and addiction. On the other hand, wretchedness, life's painful aspects, softens us up considerably. Knowing pain is a very important ingredient of being there for another person. When you're feeling a lot of grief, you can look right into someone's eyes because you feel you haven't got anything to lose. You're just there. The wretchedness humbles us and softens us. But if we were only wretched, we would all just go down the tubes. We'd be so depressed, discouraged, and hopeless that we wouldn't have enough energy to eat an apple. Gloriousness and wretchedness need each other. One inspires us, the other softens us. They go together. Now very, very slowly, start to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, reach the toes away from you, take a great big stretch. Next, exhale, hug the knees in, give yourself a huge squeeze. And then roll onto your right side and take a moment, take a breath. Bringing yourself up to a seated position. One hand flat on the heart, the other one flat on top of it. Taking the theme of this class off the mat with you today, ahimsa, satya, kindness and truth. What kind deed can you end your day with? Even if it's a kind deed for yourself, do you need some more kindness? Where can you be more truthful with yourself? That's ending simply with one breath. Breathe in, breathe out, let go. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope your back bends are starting to feel more beautiful. Remember, this is a journey. There are ups and downs. It takes time. If you have any questions, as I said so before, please do email me hello@hannahbarrettyoga, and I will see you on the mat again tomorrow.